guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about something really interesting, that is the flag to flag race in MotoGP. So what is a flag to flag race? Stay tuned in this video and you will get the answer to that. So before we get into the video guys, let's clear out two things. What is a dry race and what is a wet race? A dry race is simply a race in which there is no precipitation on track or no water on track, because of which the track is completely dry and the riders can use slick tires, and that is a dry race. A wet race is a race in which there is precipitation, and because of the precipitation there is water on the track, and hence the riders cannot use slick tires, and that is a wet race. So these two are very simple concepts guys, but the term flag to flag race falls in between these two concepts, and it is by far the most interesting type of race in MotoGP. So guys, a flag to flag race is a race in which the riders are allowed to come into the pits at any point in the race and switch bikes and then continue the latter part of the race. Why the riders would do it is because of the change in track conditions. Let me explain this to you guys. For example guys, if the race has started as a wet race and now the rain has gone and the track has dried out, but the rider is still on his wet weather setup. So what he has to do to complete the race is switch to dry weather setup, for which he has to take his bike into the pit lane, switch over to the bike that has the dry weather setup, and then continue the race. This also happens in the opposite event guys. For example, the race is a dry race, there is no water on track, but all of a sudden there's rain that starts coming on the track, there's precipitation. Now that this has happened, the rider has to switch to his wet weather setup. So what he will do is take the bike into the pit lane and switch over to his wet weather setup bike and continue the remainder of the race. So this is what a flag to flag race in MotoGP is. And guys, this is by far the most interesting form of racing in MotoGP, because number one, there are many reasons for it. Number one, it is a very rare occurrence. It is a very rare occurrence that we get to see a flag to flag race, and whenever it occurs, it is something really awesome to see. I'll tell you why guys. Because imagine the track conditions are changing and there are about 10 to 20 riders heading into pit lane all at once. They're coming in all at once and they want to change their bike as quickly as possible. There are riders that are slipping, there are riders slipping while they switch one bike to another. There are riders who actually go into the wrong garage. There are riders who actually go onto the wrong bikes. There are riders who actually, almost collide with each other. So it is a lot of drama, and this drama is really fun to watch as a spectator. Definitely not fun as a rider. From a spectator point of view, it is some really awesome drama. Another reason why a flag to flag race is really fun, because it is really useful in closing down big gaps. Yes guys, if a race would be a dry race, it would be really, and the riders are in rhythm, it would be really impossible for big gaps to be closed down, because there is a certain rhythm set and the riders are actually riding in that rhythm. But because this flag to flag thing has been added and there are certain errors and mistakes that can happen, big gaps are actually closed down, and because of that we see much tighter racing. Guys, we also see another thing when it comes to flag race is that the satellite bikes or the non-factory bikes can actually compete closely with the factory machines. Yes guys, as you know that the factory machines have an advantage over the non-factory counterparts because they use the latest machinery. But in a wet weather condition or in a flag to flag race, because the gap is completely closed down, the non-factory boys can actually compete with the factory boys, and we can get a very different race result. We can get a really unpredictable race results, and I am all for unpredictable race results. That is the essence of MotoGP. That is why it makes the sport really very fun. Also guys, another reason why the flag to flag race is really very interesting is that because it is a rare occurrence, fans are actually constantly tuned in to see what actually happens. You cannot predict the winner. You cannot have a pre-race favorite and have that pre-race favorite who actually goes on and wins the race. That just does not happen. It is a very different scenario. It is a very unpredictable scenario, and it is one of the best scenarios when it comes to entertainment for a spectator. But guys, as a spectator it is awesome, but riders are actually not in favor of flag to flag race, and they say that it is not very safe for the sport. Valentino Rossi has been very vocal about this, and he has gone on to say that flag to flag races, yes, they might be interesting for spectators, but they are very dangerous for the riders, because there are so many riders coming into the pits at one time and changing bikes and swapping bikes. There's a lot of tussle here and there going on, and that can be really risky because someone can get seriously injured. That includes the rider as well as the pit crew. So that is not a really safe option, and I agree to some extent to what Valentino Rossi has to say. He does make a lot of sense. Also guys, the entire bike has to be changed because unlike other championships like Formula 1, the MotoGP bikes do not change tires, but the entire bike is changed. Hence when they come into the pits, the motorcycles, the tires aren't changed, the entire motorcycle is changed. Also guys, from the clips you must have understood that how interesting flag to flag racing is, and I hope that we get to see many more races like this in the coming future. So guys, that is it for this video. I hope you understand what flag to flag racing is, and I hope you learned something new from this video. If you did, and if you like the video, hit the like button. If you dislike the video, hit the dislike button twice. Also guys, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, ding the notification bell, because I do bring MotoGP content on a really regular basis. With that guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.